check, 1, 2. Mic check, 1, 2. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Good morning, everybody. We are back for another episode of the I Win Morning Show. And we are super, super, super excited about today's episode coming back to the last week of November. And it's super exciting because we're getting ready to close out the year. We're getting ready for 2023. So again, we want to welcome you to the I Win Morning Show as we get ready to have an amazing episode this morning. Now, of course, before I welcome on our amazing host, Dr. Danny and JT, the Brand Master, I'm going to ask everybody who is tuned in live, whether you on Facebook or YouTube, has some feedback in the background.
I'm sorry, that wasn't me. I keep wanting,
It's okay, JT, the Brand Master. This is he's in the front and the back. He's doing it all. So anyway, y'all, make sure you like and share this conversation with some other people. We're spreading love. Look,
yes.
it's telling on which side we're spreading love. On today and every day. Dr. Danny, JT, it's so good to see you guys. I know we're ready to motivate, inspire, and empower. How was your weekend?
Yes.
How was the break? Just want to check in with you guys. Hello.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but I actually made it a weekend. Like, phone off, computer off.
Come on, phone
Don't
off.
talk to me. Unless if you invite me over. Don't do that. It was great. As a matter of fact, I think I may have done my hair or put some hair on.
Come on.
Like 2 days out of the weekend. So that was a break.
Yes, done my hair.
Okay.
And that sounds exciting. You know, sometimes doing your hair is just like, let me just let it
work, honey.
Let it be, right? I get it. I'm with it. I'm down with it. Well, I hope everybody had a great holiday weekend. You know, of course, I feel I would be remiss if I didn't start off this way. I was intentional about my sweatshirt today, which is promoting love, because I could go back to a live clip of Whitney Houston singing, what the world needs now is love. When I think about a 12-year-old that is shot on the 17th Street Bridge, a former student of both my sister and my husband, they both worked at the school that this young man went to. And, you know, listening to the news, if you're in the Atlanta area or if you're just anywhere in the United States and you watch your news and you see these news stories around specifically young Black youth that are out in the streets, who are unsupervised, where are parents? That's the major question. You know, my main time job is advocating for a parent voice. But I also have to be realistic around parent responsibilities. There are people who want to have children, foster parents, you know, parents, people like myself who want to have kids, right? And then we have people who are blessed to have children and they don't even watch them. They don't care for them. They don't look over them. And so I want to add this realistic part to this conversation today around how are we protecting our own villages? I saw one person post and they said that we have gone far away from the times where we are in the notion that there is a village, that we do have a village that's protecting us and a collective village. I don't think we're so much there. So hearts go out to the Atlanta Public Schools, the Northwest, Southwest Atlanta communities that are really struggling. The charter system within Atlanta that, again, is having a lot of children that are being inflicted into the world of violence, the world of gangs. And these are schools that we have in our communities that are looked at as pillars of light. So not taking anything away from traditional public schools. Shout out to all my colleagues that are doing amazing work. But I think Abbott Elementary School, if you guys have not seen it, it gives us a realistic picture of how public schools, especially traditional public schools, are portrayed as being negative. And so we have to face the reality that all of our schools are suffering. All of our communities are suffering, and we're losing children left and right. And so just be mindful of that. I know that was heavy, but there are a lot of parents who tune into this who are, Danielle's dog is agreeing with me. a lot of families and parents who tune into our morning show. So again, we want to acknowledge that. Our hearts go out to those families. But I'm also charging us to let's do a little bit more. Let's be a little bit more intentional, especially around having these type of conversations, because nobody was talking about this at the Thanksgiving table, right? When we were being adults and having our fun, and the kids are, we don't know, because the news story said that they talked to over 20 parents, and none of them, not one, not one knew where their child was. So that means that we need to be more intentional about these family reunions, these family meetings, these family dinners that we're having, and checking in and really saying, hey, how are you doing? So I know that was a heavy announcement to start us off, but it's okay, because with the I Win Morning Show, we got to hit you hard with the morning affirmation from Dr. Danny. But take a moment out to check in on your family members, especially those near and far on this morning. All right, Dr. Danny, let's go with our morning affirmation.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So anyway, inspired by JT's potato pies. Actually, just kidding, but I did want to plug that in there. Inspired by just all we're talking about and what you just mentioned, Jason. I wanted to focus on turning pain into power. That is the inspiration for this affirmation today. So I encourage each of you all who have wounds, whether they're physical, emotional, mental, embrace your wounds. Your wounds are reminders of where you have been and how you've overcome. And for others, your wounds represent how they can continue to keep going. So remember that your wounds, no matter what they are to remind you and to encourage you of where you've been and that you're an overcomer. And for others who see your wounds, is to encourage them and to inspire them that they can keep going. That is the affirmation for today.
All right, y'all, keep going, keep going. Y'all heard Dr. Danny's words. You got to motivate, inspire. You got to share your stories and others. Sorry, y'all, in order to help others do their work. All right, Dr. Danny, I see you coming through with the morning affirmation. All right, everybody, don't forget, if you're tuned in live, make sure you like and share this conversation for the I Win Morning Show. Now, JT is the brand master. Y'all see he got his hair up. Now, I always say when JT has his hair up, he means serious business. He is coming to the war room.
Hasn't it been up every Monday? Hasn't it been up every Monday or no?
I think it has been up every Monday.
No. Okay.
I'm just messing with you, my brother. All right, so we passing the mic to you. JT is going to bring us a little bit of inspiration. Now, y'all know we like to give JT a little segment where he's preaching to us and giving us a good word. So we're going to let him come on through this morning with some inspiration.
Got time for it. Now, good morning, people of God. We're just going to shift it there. But today's inspiration, again, if you have not purchased Wake Up Be Inspired, my book, you can go to wakeupbeinspired.com. The digital version is free. All right, so here we go. But this was a quote from Frederick Douglass that said, I prayed for 20 years, but received no answer until I prayed with my legs. And this is what I said. Let me tell you something. This quotation right here checked me and encouraged me. Some of you have been praying, you've been fasting, you've been, but you haven't been moving. Definitely not going to say that I want to get preachy, y'all, but it simply says, faith without works is dead. So yes, if you believe, yes, if you have prayed, that's great. But the second part of this, you got to start moving. You got to start making some type of progress, some type of action to go forward. So I know, and especially what Jason is saying this morning, there's change that needs to happen. And for change to happen, we can't just be on our knees praying and believing that, we're going to see it. We have to start being active. We have to start being intentional about the works that we're doing. Because if you really believe in what you just prayed for, you won't sit and wait for it to happen before you start moving. You'll start moving because you know it is going to happen. So that's your inspiration for this morning. You can say this with me. We pray that we will move, we will believe, we will go forward, and it's going to start with me. All right? That's all we got for today.
Love it.
Okay, but you got to start with you. So that's a lot right there.
Start with you.
Start with you. Super dope.
You.
I love to hear that. We done had our inspiration. We are in our motivation. We have affirmed. And so Guys, we ready to move into the question for today. Now, we have a special guest this morning. We actually have a special guest every Monday on the show that you really don't see, but you may can hear. And that's Dr. Danny's dog. We just love this dog. It's so precious. It's going to actually make an appearance, right? Before, you know, the show is over. It's okay. You know, children and pets are welcome on the morning show. We are we are friendly with pets and children. Okay. So I just wanted to say that, but we're going to get ready to go into our big question for the morning. And so wherever you are, across the nation, tuning into the morning show, before we get into our big question, I just want to say my mug, Profound Gentleman. It is also matching my sweatshirt, Profound Gentleman.
Yes.
Which is giving us a hint as to what we may be talking about in our conversation on this morning. Now, for those who have tuned in, you know that we always have a big question. So I'm going to go right into it this morning. Our big question is this. Are you ready? How full is your giving tank? Now, you may say your gas tank. You can include that too. But how full is your giving tank? Now, let me preface this to say, as we go into the sermon this morning, that Tuesday, tomorrow, is Giving Tuesday. It's a major thing, right? Woo, woo, woo. It's a major thing. It's kind of like a marathon, but it's also kind of like, if you remember old school, the little television marathons where you would call in and you would donate money to a cause. They would have musical performances. And am I old, or people don't remember that? Y'all don't remember that? The churches used to do it. They used to do it on television okay, maybe people don't get it. Nobody is shaking their head like, I know what you're talking about. But anyway, Giving Tuesday is like those marathons. CNN has an amazing special called The 80s. So, maybe you should check out The 80s. But these were major things where they would bring people together to, raise money for a good cause. And that's what Giving Tuesday does. And so that's what our big question is motivated around. How full is your giving tank? All right. So Dr. Danny, JT, I'm passing the mic to you guys. It's going to be a beautiful conversation, but I am super excited about where we're going to go with this.
Well, you said gas tank, which ain't gonna be full in 2022 because gas is too high. So the giving tank is probably a little bit higher, I would think. I don't know. What do you think about that, JT?
Yeah, my gas tank is really low right now, though. So
oh Lord,
that's not a. Yeah, we pray we can make it to the gas station when we leave here today. How about that?
Okay. I'm to that.
Come on, chill out. Okay, no. But no, I'm excited to hear about this conversation. Just because I know when we discussed what do we want to talk about and the things we want to bring up about it, and if some of you don't know what Giving Tuesday is something where we take time, organizations, people take time really to do exactly what you hear in the words. Giving to nonprofits, giving to movements that are making a change. Now, catch that ending, making a change. Not people that just want to get the money, but people that have proven that they deserve the money and now want to be able to give to that. So we definitely wanted to go through that. And Jason, what part did we want to kind of talk through or showcase some of the nonprofits that we wanted to push? Like, do we want to do that now, or you want to do that towards the end?
I think we could do it at any time, but I also, just want to add this to the conversation, right? How is your giving tank? Let's be realistic here. Everybody wants to receive, but everybody doesn't want to give. Whether it is your relationships, whether it's business. I'm thinking about in the classroom where students have to work together, and it's always, half and half. You have the students who are givers. They want to make sure that people have supplies and, they're supported, that they have a friend, that they're not standing alone. And then you have others who are just like, give to me, give. Yeah. And, I want to spend this. A lot of times in our communities, we have gone without access. And so I see a lot of people who are like, give. give to me, give me this. Oh, I wasn't able to get this job, so somebody's responsibility is to give me money for my bills and to give me food and to give me clothes and to give me shelter and to give me love. I also think with this generation of young people, they have been given a lot. I'm going back to what my great grandparents would say, you know, we're the microwave generation. And now I'm looking at the generations now where you were 3 years old and you got a cell phone and an iPad.
Yeah.
And you have all of these things. And so we're giving a lot, but are we being intentional about how we're giving? And also with giving, are we being intentional about what we're sowing and how people are reaping that and what we're reaping? So I want to put all those thoughts out in regards to, you know, what we're talking about today in regards to what's in your giving tank. What are you giving? What is the energy that you're giving out?
Mm-hmm. I want to tell you with what you said too, was a lot of people, it's hard for them to give when they haven't been given to. So it's the point of them not knowing how to be generous because they've always been in the place of lack or in the place of, well, nobody gave to me, so why am I going to give to others? And some of us may have started out in the place where we were not able to give, whether it was financially, physically, whatever that was. But when you do get into a place to where you're not in that place of lack anymore, just because you were not a person that folks gave to, you don't repeat that cycle. Go above and beyond. Be generous. Be open. Be push. That's why you have more. It's to break that cycle of what you didn't have so that somebody else can have. So I think a lot of it too is when people are looking at their giving tank, sometimes it's hard for them to want to give because it's like, well, nobody gave to me. Well, let's break it today. Start giving so that people can give to you and you can not only repeat what was, you know, chastised to you growing up or whatever. Not even growing up, hell, it's happening now.
I love it.
In life.
that was
in
good.
Life.
We got to make that change, man. In the Mirror. That's an awesome song too by Michael Jackson. It does start with us. Dr. Danny, I see you. I was about to hit that note and I stopped myself, but we gonna have some inspiration. I'm gonna give you something today. I have been giving y'all some good notes too, by the way. Let me just throw that out there. Dr. Danny, I felt like Dr. Danny wanted to come on in the room.
So much. Let me see. Let me put on a hat here. Okay. All right. I got a specific hat. And I think I'm speaking from the perspective of a nonprofit founder and president.
Okay.
So from that perspective, I would say, I wish that people would really see the work that's being done. It's not about show me the money as much as show me the word. Like we say as nonprofit founders, show me the money so I can do the work. But we have to remember, you have to show the work. And so for me, it's the why. Why do you do this? I'm going to do the work I do in spite of what you give me, whether it's time, money, resources, because I'm a queen of finding it. So I'm going to make sure that nothing lacks, nothing skips a beat, nothing misses a beat. And the children I work with, the families I work with will still be provided with the resources. That is my why. And so I think part of understanding like what JT you're talking about, it's really asking the question, why are you invested in the nonprofits that you are representing or supporting?
That's good.
And then asking nonprofit owners and founders, why are you doing this work? Because the work that we do is really like ministry. And so it's all about really understanding, because you got people who got the mega churches who might be all about the money per se. Okay. But then you also have the small churches that might be all about the people. So find out what nonprofit or organizations you're supporting and where their heart is. If you cannot connect the why to the people and the cause, then there's something that's going on there. That is the deficit. So when I'm giving to people who are going to sincerely understand the purpose of the gift.
I love that, the purpose of the gift. And, you know, it's a lot to connect to that. I'm thinking about my ancestors, right, who on both sides of my family invested a lot in churches. Right. Let's not forget the role of the church in ministry and outreach work. I'm drawing that connection because if you haven't figured it out by now, nonprofits really do a lot of outreach work. So I want to draw the analogy to the fact that my ancestors, a lot of our ancestors invested in the church. They brought their pennies and they brought their, they brought what they had to the church to invest in Sunday school. One, so that young people can be taught character building and adults. It wasn't just let's teach children how to act, but let's remind us all about how we can continue developing our character. It was an investment. A lot of churches in the early 1900s helped invest in grammar schools because we wanted to educate more of our people so that they would know whether you're a plumber, doctor, beautician, entrepreneur, mail carrier. We still want you to be able to critically think, read, articulate your words, have a conversation. They were invested in how they were giving their money. They were sowing into something.
Yeah.
And so what are we sowing into? What are we giving to? And I want to ask that question to not just our host and our team for the iWin Morning Show, but I want to ask that to viewers too. Like, what are you giving to? Think about your bills. You're giving your money away to creditors or companies. How much of that is going into your own communities? How much of that is going into your own families? Let me also ask this. Everybody comes from mom and dad. You come from your paternal and maternal sides of your family. How many of your own family members are investing in the work that you're doing in the community?
That part.
Right? Let's start doing some self-evaluations. If you're an entrepreneur, how many people do you know that you went to school with, that you live in community with, that are actually supporting your business? And so we have to be real about these conversations. We want to see changes happening in Black and brown communities. And this is a reality. I see a lot of us going out of our community for resources, a lot of us going out of our way to support businesses in an effort to say that we want the best service, we want quality. But I know quality leaders in our community, right? Because I hang around quality people. I support fellow entrepreneurs and activists that are really doing the work, but are oftentimes overlooked because they don't have the shiny bling, or they don't have the large following of people to say, hey, come on and give me your money, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
But it's about impact. So I'm just throwing all of those things out there when we think about our intentionality of our giving tank, our giving our time, giving our talent, giving our treasure. How are we really, and I'm asking both of you guys and people, you can add this in the comments, please do. How are you actually giving? And what you're giving to, is it really investing in what your purpose is? I want to know. What are your thoughts? Whether you're viewing this, Dr. Danny, JT the Brand Master, what are your thoughts? How are you giving? Are you intentional about your giving and what you're doing with your giving tank?
I know I am, because time is valuable and so is energy. So I give in multiple ways, and I always encourage people to be mindful and intentional on who you're giving your energy to, and making sure that it's reciprocated, or give enough where you're not feeling like somebody has just sucked the life out of you, but you've dropped a little nugget and then you can keep it moving. But you'll know who your people are. You know when they show up. But I think we have to also learn that giving is done not just in monetary form, but partnerships, and having people really understand what your expectation is in having a partner. Partnerships go a long way. It's also, how do people collaborate? That's a different form of partnerships, right? Tell me what's your form of collaboration? Because it's not about you coming in, stealing my stuff, and then profiting from it or capitalizing off of it. So it's having those conversations and doing it beyond just the giving season. How are people showing up for you throughout the year when you need it most, not when it's just fashionable to give?
All right, fashionable to give, y'all. Listen, Dr. Danny dropped some free nuggets, y'all. Collaboration, partnership. We're going to get a little bit more into that as the conversation unfolds. I'm thinking about Lauryn Hill, reciprocity, right? Yeah. You know, a lot of times people feel like, oh, I gave you a hug because I want you to give me a hug back. I want to be very intentional about this statement. We need to go back to our spiritual teachers. Did Buddha give because I want you to give me something back? I'm giving because something that we overlook and miss a lot of times is unconditional love. When I love somebody unconditionally, I freely give. We don't really want to talk about that. I freely give myself. It's a spiritual thing. It connects to sexism, because a lot of men feel like I got to be in control. I don't give myself to my wife fully because I need to be present. I need to be the man. I need to be in control. That was so fun. Man. That's what society tells us, right? I need to be in control. Like somebody has to be dominant. So we don't freely give ourselves to others. But the reality is, do we really freely give ourselves to embrace nature? Do we freely give ourselves to embrace God? And so we have to ask ourselves these questions around, how can I be a partnership with my neighbor? Or how can I be in partnership or collaboration with another entity or organization where I don't even have that within myself? Dr. Danny brought in collaboration partnership. We're going to highlight that a little bit more in the show.
Well, I want to do this too.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. No, because I was actually going to quote the Black creative genius, who who is like our Dalai Lama here. And I was going to just say that you said it. Sometimes some people don't know what those things are. So it's, again, giving yourself enough to be the light, to show them what it is. But don't give all of your stuff away. There's got to be some clear boundaries, because, again, we are doing work as a ministry. It's a labor of love. So you got to balance how much you give so you have enough to pour out to others as well. I'm sorry, Dalai Lama. Keep going.
No, what I was going to do was and I want to take it because, as we're saying, we're highlighting Giving Tuesday. We're also just talking about, hopefully this is a jump start to you just not wanting to give for Giving Tuesday, but you want to actually start giving more. And on the website of Giving Tuesday, it literally tells ways that you can give, either paying it forward. It's not, because the thing is not just about money, but it's paying it forward, giving money, giving nourishment, giving your time, helping a neighbor, giving kindness, giving your talents, giving your voice, giving to the earth. And I wanted to really highlight the giving kindness. That's it. If you don't have coins, if you don't know where to start as far as organizations to give, you can be kind. You can give kindness. You can give compassion to your family and friends, to your coworkers. Push that to the point of, and again, maybe people haven't been nice to you, and I've always looked at it as, if Jason decides to cuss me out and go in on me, I have the option and the choice to give him back what he gave me, or give him something new. Give him another dose of, well, I see your anger, I see your energy, let me give this back. Because somebody's going to take something. And in that moment, I really tell you all, start working on giving that more compassion, giving that love, because those are small things that we don't even see. And I think that's why a lot of the giving now, I think, has pushed through. People think that I'm giving so that you can see it. No, your giving should be to assist and to help. Who cares who knows? Who cares who needs to put your name on it? No, I just need to give, because if I can start helping you, then you're going to want to help somebody else, and you really will pass it on. And what if everybody started passing on what they were giving in the good space, in the space of kindness and compassion? What will start changing throughout this world? So don't just take it as money, people of God. Compassion and kindness, it's free, and you can make a whole slew of people's day just by saying thank you, I appreciate you, you look nice, let's keep going forward. So.
That's good. It reminds me of a movie, Pay It Forward. It came out in the 90s. I remember watching that movie, and I was younger when it came out, and I did a service learning project. I actually need to reach out to Miss Edwards at FL Stanton, my 5th grade teacher who is still teaching. I've mentioned her before, and I just want to talk that up with her. She was doing that project with students for so long after that movie came out, and it was a great way to help people pay it forward. I mentioned that because of JT's last statement. Think about giving and how when you put out positive energy, that keeps going. If I call Dr. Danny in the mornings and say, hey sis, you're beautiful, I hope you have an amazing day, that makes her feel great. And so now she's like, let me call Daddy. pick up the phone. I'm calling him like, hey, I just want to bless you. I love you. I'm thinking about you. And he's like, you know what? Let me call so-and-so. And those things also travel, but we also have to be mindful of, you know, that mom or dad in the morning, they rushing trying to get to work and the kid's not listening. And so now they've yelled or they've hollered and their form of love didn't come out in the best way. And so that also resonates with people. So it's the energy that we give that is important. Now I want to touch on this too. Giving Tuesday, right? What if you're listening and you're like, I don't know these nonprofits. I don't know where to start. I'm not connected to a church, so I'm not doing tithes and offering, but I do want to do my part civically to give back. Then here's what you can do. I'm going to throw out a homework assignment, right? Go on your social media and look for, here's some things to look for. Who are people that are consistently talking about community? Consistency is a key, right? Number one, look for consistency. Number two, and if JT the Brand Master wants to bring up Lily's Foundation website or the Community Empowerment Foundation website to show you guys an example. Oh, okay, I love this flyer. Yes, because two people on there I just happen to know. My daddy and my beautiful niece, Liliana, who's named after my great grandmothers, who were givers. They gave back to their communities, but also they took in their grandchildren and raised them. To change our generations. And so this is our family's foundation. We're intentional about our work. When you go on our website, you see our work. When you go on our social media, you see our partnerships with amazing people like Dr. Danny and the Community Empowerment Foundation, who is providing amazing workshops for our grandparents, right? So you see Dr. Danny's flyer right here. A lot of times when we see these things, we go right on past them because it's not the drama, it's not the reality TV, it's not the, oh, what happened in the world of news, right? This is education, it's advocacy, it's here's support, you need love, you need consciousness, you need a reality check, you need support, you need resources. Here it is, we have it for you, we're supporting you. Too often we go right on. We do like Dionne Warwick said. We walk on by. Walk on by. We walk on by, right? We keep on moving past these things, and we don't really invest in. Oh, I got a nephew that may need tutoring services, or I have, you know, neighbors that may need access to college resources. And so, be intentional about looking for consistency, going to websites, making sure that they're updated. Because you get some fancy websites and they haven't been updated since 2014 or 17. And it's like, hey, we're raising money right now in 2022. But what have you been doing? What is current, right? I want to know what my money is going to. So that is a major thing. Do your research on the organizations. And also, I'm going to open the door for Dr. Danny and JT the Brand Master to come on in the room. The art of storytelling. When you look at our foundation, Lily's Foundation, we have a story. I've told that story. I've shared that story. I live that story. It's also a way of how we honor our ancestors through our work with our foundation. Dr. Danny's foundation has a story. What are the stories behind these organizations, even your church, even your sorority, your fraternity, your civil or social organizations? What is the history? What is their story? So knowing the stories of those that you're investing in is important too. So I want to pass the mic to Dr. Danny and JT, the Brand Master, just to shed some light on the importance of storytelling, whether you're doing the work in a nonprofit space, you're branding and building your business, the importance of storytelling into how we are fueling our giving tank.
You're muted. You're muted, JT.
No wonder y'all didn't hear what I was saying prior.
It was deep. It was real deep.
It was.
It was so good. Oh my God. No, real quick, I shared just about storytelling is because that's the part of any foundation is there needs to be a story. People need to connect with what you are. And as we were shouting out real quick, I just wanted to shout out real quick, a nonprofit that I'm supporting. It's called the Launchpad Foundation. This is a program where women with kids who have been displaced, homeless, they are giving housing, they are giving classes, support that will help fund them. If you go to the website, the Launchpad, I think ATL, to find them on Facebook, Instagram. There was a young lady who was homeless, didn't have any kids, by herself, and she was able to get in the program. She saved $16,000. She just bought her first house, and I mean, changing lives. So doing that research is going. But again, one of the things that they do is they're telling their story. And a lot of times, don't be ashamed of your story. Don't be ashamed of what you had to deal with and what happened, because there's somebody else who's going through even the same or more than you, and they need your story to help them be able to press through. So tell the story, tell where it is, give us the honest truth. Don't do like some of the mothers and the deacons used to do during testimony service, adding some extra stuff. Tell the truth on your story and not something
and shame the devil.
Give us. Come on, man, tell the truth. So yeah, tell it, be open, be okay with being transparent.
That's awesome. Stories are so important, especially to helping us connect with other people. Now, I have gone in the comments and tagged some people as we're talking about nonprofits. One of my classmates, Jessica, she always has been supportive. I would say we kind of grew up, matriculated through school together. Love her mom. She's on the school board in Clayton County. Casey, Kanisha Venning, and Helping Empower Youth is another organization that I partner with here in the city of Atlanta. Casey's work really has been going on for so long, but when the Water Boys were under attack here in Atlanta, it really helped to elevate their purpose, because again, no one really wanted to help these young brothers and sisters who were selling waters and other goods on street corners in order to survive. Christina Guillen, who is the founder of Seven Pillars Career Academy. I was the founding special education teacher there. This is the state of Georgia's first and only non-suspension school. I advocate for this school because I've seen the amazing work there, but I also know that Black and brown children are being intentionally pushed into the school to prison pipeline. So in my mind, I'm like, Black parents this school should have $10 million because Black and brown families should be flooding to this school to say, wow, we need to be more intentional about making sure that we're supporting schools like this. Barney Jackson, Every Color Matters, bringing advocacy and awareness to cancer, and not just breast cancer, but all forms and types of cancer to really help families in need. It's an amazing organization. And so these are just a few people that you can connect with, you can look up, see the work that they're doing, and then connect with others. There are a lot of others that we'll mention too, but those are just some I wanted to get us started on that conversation around, well, who can I invest with? So we gave you consistency, looking at the stories, being intentional about what you're doing, but also looking for other people. Now, if you're connected to me, you could go on my page. I'm sharing things of people. I'm also making sure that I'm connecting people that are on my list to things that are happening in the community. So get with get with a community organizer. They seem to be very well connected, and they know people. And so make sure that you're connected with people that can get you in the door. Dr. Danny and JT, the brand master, I got a question for y'all. Are y'all ready? Now the teacher in me wrote this down. I wish I could look at my notes. Oh God, I wish I could look at my notes. But this was inspired by Dr. Danny, because we were talking about non-profits, right? Non-profits. Profit, because we had a profit. It's about gain. But then I thought about, well, yeah, non-profit. But when I think about profit, the only thing I hear is profit, right? Biblical sense. A prophet is someone who goes out and does what? Spreads the word, brings people together. They are giving inspiration. They are giving affirmation. They are giving motivation. A lot of times they are bringing healing. They're bringing stories. They're bringing a word. And so I want to be intentional about that wordplay. And I want to ask you guys thoughts on that, because to be quite honest, I do think that a lot of modern day prophets are in nonprofit spaces, including churches that have active, functioning active, functioning nonprofits. If you are at a church, I'm saying that because I want, as a young person who served on his church's trustee board for 10 years, I know that a lot of churches miss this. So yes, you are a church, but is your nonprofit status active? And are you actively doing outreach in the community to make sure that you're connecting? So if you're at a church, call your people up and say, hey, is our nonprofit status active? Are we actively utilizing this? And that's a good question, because if you're sowing into those ministries, then you have the right to ask that question. I want to just throw that out there. Profit and profits. How are we in this space doing the work of outreach and ministry, really helping people to be intentional about their giving? Intentional giving is one of the things that I definitely think fits. I think JT fell out on the ground because he knows that he's a prophet. That's all right, brother. But just in carrying that title, because I know a lot of times people feel like, well, I got to be in the church and I got to have a fancy robe and I have to have this title in order to, be prophetic or be a prophet. And then I want to remind people of Lauryn Hill and Biggie Smalls and Tupac, right? And your teachers in your classrooms. So I just want to put that out there. Dr. Danny, we could go into it though. How do you think it fits? Profit and profit.
Well, I think it's really interesting because I believe that there is some form of spiritual, and like again, we've said, ministry that is attached to nonprofits. But I also think that can kind of be a fine line when you're thinking about people who want to go into communities and to save the people. And so, I think a prophet from a spiritual standpoint is someone who shares the word, who empowers the people with the word, who helps lead the people, but they're not there to say, here, let me go ahead and be the savior. There's a fine line.
That's good.
I'm not going to talk about race, but there is a term called white saviorism. And this is not where we're talking about that. But again, the mentality is, let me come and help the poor people and do a good deed. And that's all I have to do, versus going, let me come and be a part of the people in the community to elevate, empower, and help them advocate for what they need. So I think when you're talking about profit, the profit, IT, is that you now have people that you have empowered to help continue sending the message about the work that you're doing. So they become then the representation. Like I wear this shirt called We Rep College Prep because I am representing the people who also are like first-gen college students like me. But I had to understand that even though part of my story is about being a privileged, educated person, is that there is a story behind that story. I'm a Black woman who has been educated in predominantly white spaces, despite my parents who were not college educated. And so it's understanding that when people see me, they see me as the person who's educated. I needed to come off of my pedestal and go, I am coming to be a prophet and a servant to work and talk to other people. I want to be a part of the people in the conversation and work with the people, not for the people, with the people, to empower them so that they can too spread the word and be leaders to lead the work in their own communities. So I don't know if that answers your question.
No, that opened the door. That is
question that needs to go on like another session too.
I think it does, and I also think that it connects to so many things. But to the giving tank, that is a great point, and it's not just let's not get it twisted, y'all. It's not just the white savior complex, because there are Black people in educational spaces, in the prison system, in the religious system, that feel like, oh, we have to go in and save. This is so important, Dr. Danny, because let's bring it back to Black and brown people. We see it economically. I got a little bit of change in my pocket, so you start to feel a little good about yourself, and I got a little extra to save aside, and we do start to look at others in our community differently. And so we have to be intentional about when we show up, we're not going in. Case in point, example, a lot of the young people in Atlanta, people are saying, oh, we need to show up because we need to save them. We need to reclaim our youth.
Right.
Well, let's be quite honest here. Let's think about sheep, right? They have a shepherd that is leading them. So, if anything, we need to be reclaiming our adults. We need to be reclaiming our parents. We need to be reclaiming families. We need to do the healing work there before we go and intentionally say, oh, we want to save the children. And I'm going by Raymond's comment that says sometimes we end up doing more damage.
Right.
To communities, to families, because we go in good intentions, but we're not really keyed in. We're not clued into, we're not connected to the real issue. And so, Dr. Danny, I really appreciate you highlighting that point, because sometimes we're given things that are not even needed, right? How many of us have been in those situations where I'm giving money to my family member because I'm like, oh, you need something? Let me give you some money. Let me send this. Let me cash app you. Let me, set aside this for you. But what they really need is a hug. What they really need is somebody to sit down with them and just cry with them, to listen to them, to sometimes hold them accountable and check them. And so how you're giving is really, really important, to this conversation. So Dr. Danny, again, I thank you for that comment to share the light, right? Sometimes we too can be in those situations where we are causing damage to others by what we're giving, and it could be unintentional. JT, we so good to see you back, brother, before we close out this morning.
I'm glad to be back.
Glad to be back in the house. Yeah, let's be intentional about what we're giving. On today, together we give. Now listen, tomorrow is Giving Tuesday. I'm gonna give a homework assignment outside of the homework assignment to say, identify 1 or 2 organizations that you feel are credible, that really are impacting communities. Again, Lily's Foundation is one. The Community Empowerment Foundation Incorporated, College Prep, it's a connection clinic. Just to talk a little bit more about our partnership, again, we have grandparents raising school-age children that the Community Empowerment Foundation supports. A lot of first-generation college students. This is helping break generational poverty, cycles of access that has not been granted to communities and families. And so you want to be very intentional about looking up the organizations, seeing what they're doing, and looking at the impact that you want to have in the greater community. And that's a major thing. Giving Tuesday also, I want to shout out Black philanthropists because they are present. They are real. That is something I want to speak to Black conservatives as well. Because again, a lot of times these are things that may be outside of their wheelhouse. For example, we come from a lineage of families where mom and dad has raised every child. We didn't have grandparents that may have to step in, or aunts and uncles, or godparents, and that's okay if that is your family structure. So you may not be used to that. However, that doesn't take away from the fact that you can give to organizations that may not line up to your personal testimony, but they can connect to a greater good. And here's the greater good. Unconditional love. This heart is representing unconditional love, not conditional. Conditional is I'm giving you this because it's going to give me a return. I'm giving you this because there's a benefit for me. I'm giving you this because you're going to do A, B, and C for me. There are conditions that come with love. That's not me. I'm an advocate for unconditional love, that in spite of, if I'm sowing into you and I never see a return, if I'm sowing into you and you never give me a thank you or I love you, that shouldn't change the way that I give. I want to be very clear about that. When I'm giving and I'm putting out my energy and space, it's because I believe in the greater good of unconditional love. And it's not in any way connected to the other person's response, their responsibility, or their action. And so a part of my giving tank is making sure that I have a firm foundation on what unconditional love is, because I'll be honest with you, I'm sure a lot of people have been burnt with giving to organizations, churches, entities, schools that have failed them, that have harmed them, that have overlooked them, that have not done the right thing by them. And if we allow that hurt to resonate, then nobody will be giving. Mm-hmm. So I want to make sure that I'm being intentional about how I give. It's not a perfect space. It's not an easy thing. It's not a, oh yeah, let me just set aside $100 and I'm just gonna give it to just anyone. Again, being intentional about your purpose for giving and your reason for giving is so important.
Awesome.
Y'all remember
You've been
that
going in
homework
this
assignment?
morning.
Right. Y'all remember that homework assignment, the Hope homework? Because y'all think I'm the teacher that forgot I gave homework.
I ain't forget. I gotta. I did look. My announcement is gonna be amazing.
Okay.
This morning, I see some family members are on. Shout out family. Yeah. So I'm ready. I got mine.
I'm gonna give everybody else a week to finish it, but I'm gonna add to the assignment, which is add to your short-term and long-term goal one way that you can give that you haven't given before, and one way you can support others who always give. Whether it's organizations or So add that to the list of your 5. Remember, it was 5 long-term, 5 short-term. Add that.
Yeah, add that.
Hey, y'all, DM, I'm gonna say electric educational entities. Jason, I want y'all to DM us your 5s and your information so we can review that and call that out and talk about that on the next show. So
I love that.
Let us know. Or if you want to be bold, put it in the comment section. We cool.
Yeah.
It don't matter, but let us know so we can bring that information to the people.
I'm gonna give some examples. You know, I love to give examples. If you're a business owner, shout out to Dwayne, who's in New York. He's an entrepreneur, father, husband, all around great brother, but he gives back to his community through his barbershop ministry, right? Because we know that beauticians, barbers, prophets, healers, that was their original work, right? So let's not forget that. If you have a nonprofit that is doing work in the community and you want to share that information, make sure that you connect with us. Again, the I Win Morning Show is designed, not just we're winning when you win, and we want to collectively win and build together. Now, if you go on Dr. Danny's page, I know she shared some amazing photos from the Thanksgiving holiday. I don't know if she wants to share just a little bit about some of the tasks that she did with legacy work and tradition for the Thanksgiving holiday, but we would love to hear a little bit about it because I want to make a little announcement too.
Okay, well, from last week we talked about how we would actually incorporate legacy and things of that nature. So I told y'all I'm normally in charge of the pies. My nephews were really interested in supporting it this year. And my dad, for the first time, actually sat with us the whole time and was telling stories about how he learned how to cut sweet potatoes. And he taught the boys who are 9 and 6 how to properly, without cutting off any fingers, we had no injuries, but how to cut sweet potatoes to help make the beautiful pies. And we were able to deliver pies to people who did not either have places to go for Thanksgiving or who were really lacking in some great Southern cuisine of sweet potato pies. So either way, they were part of the full process. And I took plenty of pictures and videos of the storytelling happening. Yes, Mr. Stewart was all in that story, I tell you. And you know what's really funny? Grandparents are funny. They will tell some stories to the grandkids that they didn't tell you.
Yeah.
Come on.
Isn't that something? So we have to really listen. We have to listen to what they're saying because it's the treasure.
That was a beautiful photo, and you're absolutely right. I'm like, now I must have missed that story for Grandma and them because Mama did. What are y'all talking about? Like, where you get this story from? And then I have to be like, oh, wait a minute. I think that was somebody else, but it's okay. I know what you're trying to do. I got it. I'm on the same page. Beautiful moments. That was such an amazing photo. Now, I don't have a photo to share. You would have to go to Lily's Foundation in order to see the photo. Shout out to my cousin, Latasha Shaw. It's so good to see family members near and far who are on and are watching. Yes. It is so amazing. I'm honored about this announcement because the Allen family had a beautiful Thanksgiving blessing that came this week, right? Y'all look at our special friend. I told y'all our friend was going to make an appearance on the show this morning. Dr. Danny, tell us your dog's name.
Gizmo.
Hey, Gizmo. Gizmo.
Hold on. I'm going to bring mine too. Hold on.
Okay. And then you're gonna give the announcement.
I am
We all
giving the
want to be here
announcement,
for
but
the
I'm just
announcement.
going on with Gizmo. Listen, guys, Chelsea Allen Pennyman, my baby sister, the great granddaughter of. I'm trying to make an announcement, and now I'm also distracted at the same time. The great granddaughter of Lily Allen Young. A lot of my family members who are on the Allen side. Her great granddaughter was born, Parker Ella Pennyman, on. My sister went into labor on Thanksgiving Day, and little Parker arrived on Friday morning.
Come
We
on,
are
little
so
Parker.
excited
Little
about
Parker
Parker.
parked and showed up. Huh?
Okay.
She parked and showed on up. She did. She showed on up. So Charlie is a big sister. And there are 3 little grandchildren. Liliana, who is named after
3.
our beautiful and amazing grandmothers, great grandmothers on both sides, Lily. I know they're just smiling at the fact that their legacy is continuing on. And that's legacy, right? I was writing in my journal because that's my role.
Yeah.
I'm the family storyteller. I'm capturing. I got a little nervous, y'all, because the baby was born, and the first thing that I went to get was my journal and the Bible to write down the birthday and what happened. And in the middle of doing that, I was like, oh my God, I am like doing what my great grandfather would do when we were born. Like that's what they did. And so sometimes you find yourself doing things and you don't even recognize how you're honoring your ancestors. It's so funny that that was something that I witnessed.
Yeah.
And ended up doing it. So baby Parker is here.
Yay!
Her birthday has been written down in the books. I have my great grandparents' Bibles, and I took time to write in each one. So that was awesome. Baby Parker is here. So cousins near and far that are watching.
Looking to the side, it keeps feeling like they're gonna pass them, Baby Parker.
I'm like, come on, right? Come on, but we are gonna post Baby Parker's. Chelsea has posted her picture, but I will make sure the team posted on the foundation page for those who are connected. So that was the announcement this morning.
Awesome! Congrats, Mazel Tov. Now, JT, who is your little cutie?
This is Chaco.
Taco, you got a taco.
Chaco, silly. Yeah, he's going through. I got up this morning and he was outside of the kennel. Now how he got out, I don't know, but he was out sitting on his little self. So we're working through the training right now. So y'all pray my
working
strength.
Through the training. Well, I have my beautiful pet family here, and lady, she's trying to get my tea. And gentlemen,
now look, you can't pick her up like this.
Looking?
You can't.
No, I can't hold these. Come here.
Right?
She will pick you up. She'll pick you up.
Lady will pick me up, and so with this big one.
Hey,
this is gentleman.
Hi, gentlemen.
Yeah. So we have lady and gentleman. Isn't that amazing, right? Lady and gentleman. Okay, you get down now. You can get down. Yeah. Now he want to sit right there. So
in the front.
Look. This taking me back to show and tell in class. Show and tell. Now this was legacy, right? We saw if you missed the photo of Danielle's father and her nephew, beautiful, cooking in our families, continuing that legacy, taking that time to share stories. Just an amazing time, and we need more moments like this with our families. So we're not just waiting to Thanksgiving. All right. Now let me say this too. Just fun fact. A good friend of mine reached out to me and was like, Black people always changing the name of a holiday. Listen, Thanksgiving is going to be Thanksgiving, but here's what I call it. I call it Black Family Reunion Day because families across the spectrum are getting together. Friends are inviting you over to their homes. Family members are inviting you over. And I'm like, it's just a big family reunion day. You get good food. You get to embrace others. You get to hear stories. And I love that. And a weird kind of notion in my mind is that's kind of like what heaven is like. That's my perception. Like it's just ongoing love and just beautiful conversations and just that moment. That's what we get when we're in our families. And so Black Family Reunion Day is what I refer to as Thanksgiving because I also believe that Thanksgiving is a lifestyle. I ain't just thankful on Thanksgiving. I can't even go there. I can't go there this morning. I'm thankful every day.
Mm-mm.
It's a lifestyle. This is why I teach my students. Thanksgiving, yes, it's one day. Just like Valentine's is one day, but you only love on one day. No, baby, I love every day.
No,
Like, any day that I can
Every
open these
day.
eyes, I'm loving those that are around me. I'm thankful each and every waking moment that I have. So, those are things that we got to be connected to. I'm really intentional about family in this season, especially with what we're seeing with our young people. And so if we aren't elevating the power of love within our families, then we're losing people. That's all I'm saying,
Yeah.
y'all. Be intentional about how you are giving. Be intentional about how you're giving. All right. I love these dogs, y'all. Listen, we are at the end of the hour for the I Win Morning Show. We recap today. Our big question is, how full is your giving tank? Tomorrow is Giving Tuesday. Make sure you're being intentional about who you're giving to. Shout out again to Casey, helping empower young people. Their foundation and work is amazing. Lily's Foundation for Change, the Community Empowerment Foundation, the Launchpad Foundation. Every color matters. Okay, so make sure you're connecting with these organizations, teachers, and you feel like you want to give. Connect with AAE in Georgia, because teachers, especially in charter schools, need to be protected. So make sure that you can give to a teacher, right? Just throwing out ways for people to be able to connect and do things. Now, before we go, I just want to ask y'all this question. It's a burning question. We got 5 seconds to answer it. Is there a Queen of Christmas?
Is there a what?
Is there a
No.
Queen of Christmas? JT said no,
Well-
just off the rip, like no.
Well,
Queen of
I
Christmas. I
can-
found that so interesting that I've been seeing that a lot on the news, and
Never heard of it. I missed
interesting.
I
They're
think it
calling
is. I
Mariah
think
Carey
it's
the
old
Queen
girl.
of Christmas.
it. Oh no.
I think so. You don't agree? I can hear that song every year, and it just, I don't want a lot for Christmas. I mean, I can.
That was the church version, because you had the hand and every. I ain't finna go over time with that. You're not finna take this
I'm leaving.
because you had the hand. I was like, that was the that was the come we offer Christ to you version, and that took me out. I just wanted to ask that. I thought that was so interesting that I'm like, Queen of Christmas. I was like, we just love to give people a title. I'm gonna say that
Right.
with the holiday thing too. We love to give people a title. I don't know, but it is almost the Christmas season, guys. And with that, stay safe. Make sure you connect with the I Win Morning Show every Monday, 7:15 a.m. It's gonna be super amazing next week. You don't want to miss our next big question. Thank you guys for tuning in. Dr. Danny, JT, the Brand Master, and I, we love you guys. We're so thankful. Giving Tuesday. Don't forget to give, y'all. Be intentional about your giving tank. Peace and love, everybody. Wakanda forever. Ain't it right? Wakanda forever.